Hello. I just thought I'd do a little video, kind of show some repairs I've done. Now this is a pair of spurs I've done that I built probably 10 years ago. Okay. Now you'll see the wear in there. This is from the rowel rubbing side to side. See how it's rubbed that out? Right there, shit really bad. I can't really fix that without rebuilding the whole thing. And to me at this point, well, maybe one more set of rowels and a guy ought to go ahead and just put them on the shelf as a collector's deal. Now, this particular set, what happens is these rowels, pins will get loose or the rowels will start wearing over time. It's the second set of rowels I put in this pair of spurs in 10 years. I'm completely rebuilding these as far as swingers, hangers. You know, I won't, if it gets any more, what happens is this point right here will get brittle when you start pinging these rowel pins in, and it'll bend. Or it could bend when you're riding or kicking something or get hung up on something. So what I did with these is, all these are high heat. Now I weld on my backs in, or I weld on my staples in. Some guys solder them in, but I'm just showing you, when you use high heat, you can go ahead and TIG weld it back in. Now how I did this was, I just took my bandsaw and I cut this right up and cut the staples right off with the hangers on them. And then I bent my staples and then put them in there and welded them in. Now I'll go in and clean the insides up, and I'll put my new swinger in and button, and then put the button silver back on, and there'll be new staples, new swingers, and new rowels and new pins. Now these are the new rowels. You see the difference in the middle. I mean, that's just probably 5 years. The pins are still in there. We use 4130 rod steel. So anyways, what I'm trying to say is, I grind this down as close as I can once I saw these off, and then ping them and then drill them back out, and then my holes are there. Then I can put my new staple in. So if you low heated all this silver on, it'd come right off. But high heat, 1200 degrees, is when it starts to separate from the steel. So that being said, I can kind of half-ass rebuild them and get another, I don't know, 10 years out of them. But the way the shanks are wearing on from the spur rowel, you see, the spur rowel sits in there and wobbles back and forth and turns. It's like sandpaper. It just, you know, eventually wears out. Now what I'm going to do now is take this off and this off, and then take my pin out. I cut my pins, get my spur rowels out, and then I'll knock those out and then put new pins in. Let's see. So that's about all there is to say on that. Now this side wear here, you see it's wearing out on my right side. I don't understand why it's wearing out. I said, because you're riding the pickup with your foot like that on the gas pedal. I've seen spur rowels that are completely half of the spur rowels wore off of one side from riding on this side. But that's what causes that. Just mere carpet on the pickup or the gas pedal, all that. Everything else is wear and tear, nicks, beat up. So anyways, I'm just showing you kind of, that's how now what I'm going to do is go in clean the inside of these up and smooth them up, and then cut my cut my slinger hangers out, and put new buttons in, put the old silver buttons I took off of there back on each side. And then pretty much once I do that, then I'll put these in with new pins, and then put the silver back on. I'll grind that down and put the silver back on, and that's kind of a rebuild on that. Like I say, if your stuff starts to get to where you're wearing your sides out, that's because you've got a a 1/4 inch hole here, and it'll sit in here and wobble side to side, wearing that out. The longer you let them go, the worse it gets. Till this is going to be so wore all the way across, and not remember, you've also got this is all cut out, so you got 2 points up here that are getting pretty thin. So I would say maybe one more set of rowels on these, and they're going to be time for a different set of spurs. But yeah, these are, can't even hardly see the inside. I don't even know. Is this 56? Yeah, 56 or 58. I'm on 160. So anyway, that's kind of a little video of how I rebuild that. So